Problem 16. Air contains several gases in addition to oxygen. Argon makes up 93/10,000ths of air. What is 93/10,000ths written as a percent? So we would move the decimal 2 places, 1, 2, and it's decimal 93%. Number 17, find the percent of each number. I can do this in the calculator. You put your whole number in first, 140 times 20%, and that should equal 28. Number 18, 250 times 60%, and that equals 150. Number 19, write each fraction as a percent. So we would say 37 divided by 50, and you get 74 hundredths. And 74 hundredths written as a percent is 74%. Number 20, 3 divided by 25. On a calculator, when you do 3 divided by 25, you get decimal 12. And as a percent, that is 12%. (21) 185%. We're going to write each percent as a decimal and as a mixed number or a fraction in simplest form. So 185% is 1 85 hundredths. You would write that as 1 85 over 100. And then you're going to simplify because you would divide 85 and 100 by 5. So your answer is 1 17/20. So you have to have the decimal and you have to have the simplest form. Decimal 35%, we're going to move that decimal 2 places to the left and you get 35/10,000ths. So you write that as 35 over 10,000. Divide both of those by 5 and you get 7 over 2,000. (23) During a basketball game, Jarrell attempted 40 shots and made 18. He says he made 40% of the shots he took. Is Jarrell correct? Explain your reasoning. So there's 2 different ways. The first way you can do that is you can say, what is 40% of 40? So if he had really made 40% of 40, he would have made 16 shots and not 18. So that's the first way you could solve it. The second way you could solve it is actually finding what the percent is. He made 18 out of 40. And so if I need to find the percent, I cross multiply. 100 times 18, and that's 1,800. 1,800 divided by 40, and he actually made 45% of the shots. So both ways show that he was not correct. No, he made 45% of the shots, or you could have said no, 40% of 40 is 16. Either of those 2 answers would have been acceptable. (24) The original price of a DVD is $9. The sale price is 20% off the original price. What is the sale price of the DVD? So I can change 20% to decimal 20 and multiply that by $9. And so you will save $1.80. But is that what the question asked? Did it ask what are you going to save? No, it said what is the sale price. So you have to take the original, subtract this, what you're going to save, and you're going to find out that $9 minus $1.80 is you're going to have to pay $7.20. So this is your answer, $7.20. All right, and the last problem. Ashley says you can convert 3 7/75 yards of rope from yard to feet by multiplying by 3, because 3 feet equals 1 yard. Sarah says you can use ratio reasoning to set up a proportion and convert yards to feet. Prove Sarah's statement by creating and solving a proportion to find out how many feet of rope this is. Then explain in words the steps you took to solve the proportion. So we're going to set it up, and we know that 3 feet equals 1 yard. So we're going to start our proportion with 3 feet to 1 yard. And then the problem tells us we have 3 7/75 yards of rope. So we're going to cross multiply. 3 7/75 yards times 3 feet, we get 11.25 or 11 25/100. So if I cross multiply this way, 11 25/100 divided by 1 is 11 25/100 feet. So this is the proportion that you need to show, and then you have to explain it, and then we're going to see if their reasonings are the same. When you set up the proportion, you cross multiply to solve. So we cross multiplied, and we actually multiplied 3 7/75 times 3. And isn't that what Ashley said you do? She says you convert it by multiplying 3. By multiplying by 3. And isn't that what we did? Yes, and then when we divide it by 1, that's still just multiplying by 3. So when you set up the proportion, you cross multiply to solve. So you do multiply 3 7/75 by 3 feet to solve the problem. So Ashley and Sarah were both talking about doing the same thing. So you need to have a proportion, and you need to have steps that you took. You need to explain the steps. Are there any questions about anything on the study guide?